Oh, there you are, my mortal friend. It has been quite a while since I've seen you. How have you been? That is most wonderful and most intriguing. I came here because I wanted to check up on you. It has been quite a while since I have last seen you. The last time I saw you, if I recall, you had a nightmare. After that, I decided to come in and check up on you. Oh? You're surprised? Well, you are my friend, are you not? A good friend always comes to check up on those they love. Oh, you have a question for me? What is it? Oh, no, 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 no. Don't worry, Zamasu won't find out. I promise you, I will not tell Zamasu of our meeting. In fact, I came because there's a question I have to ask you myself. The question is, why do you think Zamasu gets so hostile with our meetings? I know it's probably because he dislikes mortals, but there has to be something more to this. Oh, you think he's worried because he doesn't want his plan to be thwarted? After all this time, he still cares about that plan? Shouldn't our friendship be enough to convince him that mortals are not evil beings? Shouldn't that be enough? You're right. It may not be enough to convince him. Even your kind deeds have not swayed him from his judgment. It seems Zamasu will need to be convinced further. Don't you worry about that, though. Why don't you leave that to me? I will try to convince him that mortals are not as bad as he seems to think they are. Oh? You wish to help? That is most intriguing. I have never heard of anyone wishing to help before. Most intriguing indeed. Very well. The next time I see Zamasu, I may bring you with me so we can both convince him that his plan will be fruitless. Not to mention, he may die if he tries this. Oh? You're curious as to what I mean by he may die trying this? Well, you see, Zamasu is a complicated individual. He does not seem to understand that changing is sometimes a necessity, especially for survival. The problem is, I fear he may not listen until it's too late. The only thing that I can think to do is perhaps try to stop him myself, or bring you along to convince him that mortals are not as bad as he claims they are. So you think that being kind to him will continue to warp his judgment? As nice as that is, that you wish to do kind deeds, I fear he might be putting on a facade to make you think he's changing. Zamasu is very stubborn, especially when it comes to plans he wants to carry out. Uh, you, you're curious as to why he's stubborn? Well, you see, based on what he has told me, his master, Goasu, taught him that mortals need to be observed from a distance and never interacted with. However, the beings he was shown were not what he was expecting in the slightest. In fact, he was shown a group of barbarians that are now known as Siderians. What are the Siderians, you may ask? Well, from what he has told me, they are a race of lizard like beings who are akin to cavemen. Yes, yes. It is very. They are as tall as can be. Only problem is, from what he told me, he got so enraged that they were harming each other that he just snapped. and decided that if they would prefer to hurt each other instead of be happy to be alive, as he put it, then they needed to be demolished. And unfortunately, his view on mortals has remained the same ever since. Personally, I can't understand what could possibly make him hate mortals. I mean, after all, you're quite a nice mortal, aren't you? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you're a nice mortal. You are my mortal friend, after all. You have shown me that mortals are not as bad as Zamasu seems to think they are. But now the question is, how do we get Zamasu to change his ways? Perhaps being kind and courteous would work, but perhaps a different approach should be taken. Maybe you and I can show him those mortals again, but if they were less. But what would have happened if they'd have taken a different direction? That would involve time travel, and I have not told anyone this, but I am very discouraged about time travel because of Trunks. Honestly, I think my own anger with Trunks' time traveling is that he disrupted the flow of history, and now history has since repaired itself, and now Trunks' saving of Goku is now considered part of the timeline. I must say, time is a very intriguing mistress indeed. She goes in one direction, yet feels free to twist herself into ribbons. It is a most fickle subject, I must admit. Oh, you you've considered time travel? That is most intriguing, mortal, I must say. You are probably the most interesting mortal I have met thus far. I have never heard of another mortal wishing to do time travel, but for different reasons. Perhaps you and I could work together to show Zamasu that mortals aren't as set in stone as he saw. What do you think? Hmm? Great! Then it's settled. We shall take Zamasu to the past and show him that mortals are not as set in stone as he's seeing. Who knows? Perhaps he may change his mind. Right, we'll have to pick a day when we do this. I suppose the next time I meet with you, we shall take Zamasu to the past. Until then, stay safe, my mortal friend, and I will come back to visit you again, and we will discuss our plan then. Goodbye, my mortal friend.